Opportunity for us, for our two best players to be out and everybody get an opportunity, and we got to appreciate that. And like I said, an opportunity to evolve in that regard.
The Magic will return to the floor Thursday night, welcoming the top seed in the West, Oklahoma City Thunder, to the Kia Center at 7. It's 71 degrees at 2 o'clock. Time and Temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Attention. Attention.
They are not ready for prime time.
Prime time.
Prime time.
Prime time. That's the name.
Prime time.
Prime time.
What time is it? Showtime prime time.
It's XL Prime Time. Featuring Joe C.
Why in the world am I sitting back and being quiet about this?
Matt Hayes.
Oh, my God. This is ridiculous.
And Leon Searcy.
If you can't hang with the big dogs, stay on the porch.
How you like me now? How you like me now?
Well, one thing I'll take from the Open is you can't sit back and be quiet about this. No, you can't. Here it is, December. The season is lost, that's for sure. Another one-score game that your Jaguars come up on the wrong side of. Another L as we welcome you into a Macamo Beer Company Monday. Hopefully everybody had a great weekend. There were plenty of people at the bank, loud and proud, wanting to see it go down. And I think most fans fight this time of the year based on where you are. You're out of the playoffs, your record stinks, you're looking at draft order and draft projections, and yet you still want to win. I don't blame anybody for wanting to win that football game yesterday. But you saw some Hall of Famers. One named Aaron Rodgers, Matt. The other one named Devontae Adams. And when they needed to get it done, they got it done in the second half of that game. We're missing Big Sirs, so we're definitely going to tear into that game. And I don't know if you know this. I actually think you do know this. It's playoff week.
Oh, it's playoff week.
It's playoff week.
It's playoff week in college football, baby.
Yes.
So real quick with the Jags.
Yeah, not real quick. We're going to spend plenty of time on them.
I'm watching that game, and I'm thinking to myself, this is who they are. Remember, like, Joker, the first Joker, not the second. The second Joker was terrible with Lady Gaga and all that garbage. The first one. And the ultimate scene where he says, you get what you get what you deserve.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they get what they deserve, okay? If you can't stop someone on third down, if you can't get off the field, if you've got a lead with 4 minutes to go in the NFL and you can't hold that lead, you get what you deserve. And we see this play out over and over and over again. If you can't get a first down on third down, late with 4 minutes to go or 3 minutes to go or 2 minutes to go, if you can't throw a simple out to a guy who's wide open, to a guy who was beating the corner so bad, Sauce is 6 yards off him.
Right.
If you can't make that third down throw, you get what you deserve.
Yeah, there's so many you get what you deserve moments. And it could be the season, it could be the game, but the end of it's still the same. You lose, you don't win. You now have gone basically into another Sunday with some hope against a team that matched you record-wise coming into this game, but in the end, you couldn't get the job done. And you could go to the 4-minute mark, the 2-minute mark, the 1-minute mark. This much is. And you guys all know this, but we will point it out today. You went down the field and you scored. You didn't just go down the field and scored. You went down the field and scored a touchdown to start. Now, this is crazy to think. That doesn't happen in Duval. They don't score on the opening drive and get 7 and get up early. But they actually did it. Moved the ball okay against a Jets defense that has been up, down. Bottom line is they had the lead at the half. They went up 7-0, had the lead 13-7 going into the half. And then the next 25 points that went on the board, courtesy of the Aaron-led New York Football Jets, led to the win. They let go of a one-score lead and let that other team score 25 on them in the second half of that game.
Not only that, the Jets' defense was dying in the first half.
Yeah.
Dying.
Yeah, this team had a little rhythm to it.
Just run the ball on them in the second half, but that didn't happen. And then, of course, we get to the same old stuff. No pass rush because, the guy at the top of the food chain over there in that building thinks they have a pass rush with those two guys.
We like the people in our building.
Right. And then, of course, for now, this will be the third year in a row, right? Yeah, third year in a row. They've decided that Devin Lloyd can cover.
Well, you and I spar about this one too.
I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't know what they're doing. My guess is Devin doesn't know what they're doing. Like he's probably saying, "Man, you're putting me in this situation to cover. It's not working. Let's do something different."
Okay, so I'll admit to you one very obvious thing, and I'm sure others are out there that will feel the same way.
Joe, he got torched.
Yeah. Well,
on both those touchdown passes.
Well, first off, there were other guys that were responsible.
Of course there were.
Yeah.
Of course.
Other guys that were responsible for being there that weren't there.
By the way, the last throw to Devontae that basically sealed the game.
Yeah.
Well, gave him the touchdown. Didn't seal the game because the Jets decided for whatever reason.
Exactly. They could
try and score. Right.
Yeah.
But Devin missed that too. He missed on the pass off.
Well, yeah, he missed on the pass off, but there's more than one person that missed on the pass off. Okay, that's the part that by the way, in what world? And you and I always spar about whether or not Devin Lloyd needs to be out in coverage.
Stick him on the edge and get the quarterback, period.
Okay, but we'll get back to that argument in 1 second. In what world do you ever plan on seeing defensively two guys, a safety, which was your strong safety, not your free safety, but your strong safety in Antonio Johnson and Devin Lloyd, one of your linebackers, the two closest defenders to Devontae Adams, when he just zipped right up the field to the 1 yard line on a huge throw. Aaron Rodgers, this is where he thrives. He finds your weakness, he exposes it, and he puts guys in position where he can read defenses.
But it's not difficult when Devontae's standing on all alone with his arms wide in the air going, "Throw me the ball."
Yeah. Well, again, that was the crosser, and so somebody else should have been with him. They did not. And I'm sure if Coach Campo were here, he'd be hollering.
I mean, he only had 8 catches for 200 yards in the second half. I don't know why you wouldn't cover him, right?
Yeah, let me tell you something. And okay, so it's so funny because, like we said, 25 points in the second half of this game, courtesy of the Green Bay Packers. But the 2 touchdowns that he had a total of 9 grabs for 198 yards. And so they almost blew it.
I was off by a catch and 2 yards. Sorry about that.
Yeah. 100. It was an insane performance
after having no catches in the first half.
Yeah, all of this in the second half, and they threw the graphic up, and I obviously took a snapshot and took it out there. But when you have a guy, 9 grabs, 198 yards, 2 touchdowns, and basically instrumental in leading your team to 25 points in the second half and 30 minutes of football. Your defense does not have a good grasp of what's going on.
Right, you don't cut him loose on the last drive of the game.
Yeah, it's just and Aaron Rodgers, by the way, they frustrated him a little bit. They made him make quicker decisions. They got to him a little bit, but they never really truly got to him. Who was the leading rusher for the New York Football Jets yesterday? Raise your hand if you know.
That's another big problem, by the way.
Yeah, it was Aaron Rodgers. Okay, they did not have a run game to speak of. Breece Hall was in and out. He was available, and he did play, but he wasn't 100%. And then they had a couple of other guys that they had to count on because one guy got injured in Allen. And Aaron Rodgers ended up leading the stat sheet. Name a game where this guy, he can take off and run. We know that. But this version of Aaron Rodgers would love to throw it a hell of a lot more than he would like to maneuver and run. And he was able to do it, and he did the okey doke on the one big run where he's 15 yards past the line of scrimmage, yet he still made somebody freeze just for a split second. It might have been Muma or somebody.
Right.
Because it's just the way it goes. That's how he works defenses. So, frustration level, you guys let us know where you are. You can hit the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures, 641-1010. You can jump in the YouTube chat. Easy to stream us. Just go to YouTube, search XL Primetime, and jump in. But the level of frustration can be countered by, okay, this season is over. I now can't help but start to think about the future. So there's that kind of that fight that you have within yourself. I was describing it on Friday when we were up at Mokama Beer Company, and there were definitely fans that were agreeing 100%. Just the conflict that you have. I want to win, but do I really want to win? Gosh, I want to beat them, but do I want to fall deeper in the draft? Man, this team sucks. If I get this player, will this help? But dang, I want to win. And so that's that internal conflict that you got.
Believe me, which is
fine.
No
you
offense.
should have it.
No offense to McCorkle because he played hard, okay? Mm-hmm. He's just not, he missed so many throws, man. So many throws. If Trevor Lawrence is healthy, they're probably going to win 6 straight to finish the season. But it's just, It's where they are right now.
Yeah.
Like, they had won that game. They would have won that game yesterday, like 43-32, something like that.
Maybe. All right, here's the other part of it. In Mac Jones, if there's anything that you want to get out of him and what you saw is to take the profit throw. There is something, that part of the game needs to be there. And I'm not saying that take a little bit of this and add it to Trevor and you've got
He does that for the most part. He just can't hit those accurately, those second and third level throws.
I
That's
totally
the
get
problem.
it. I totally get it. But there are a few things he does that you can't help but at least look at it and like. It doesn't mean Trevor can't or Trevor won't or anything like that. I'm not trying to put one over the other guy. I'm just simply saying that take the profit, you have to have that in your arsenal. It has to be part of your game plan. And then the run game actually started to feed off of that a little bit, and they got some decent chunks. And this is, hey, this might be the first time, long time, that we've seen the actual scripted plays work. They actually got off some scripted plays. There were first downs.
A little bit.
There were first, be serious now. There were first downs in the first drive. This is stuff we haven't seen in a while. Like I said, the last time they went down and got 7 in their opening drive, you'd have to go back to last year. And the other part of it is that this football team right now has not been able to grab a hold of a game and basically take the game plan of the others and kill their will. They have not. But back to your point,
They
Matt.
haven't been able to adjust either.
Yeah,
Like, you have to adjust mid-game in the NFL, too.
Yeah, back to your point, though. They had that defense a little bit on their heels. They were working the clock. They were moving the chains. They were at least doing enough to put them in a position to control a leaderboard.
Right. You can't keep kicking field goals in the NFL and win games. You have to score.
Yeah, I get that. But we can go to a couple of big moments in the first half of this game. Aaron Rodgers was shut down. They called a fake punt on their side of the field. They made it happen, and they said, we've got to get something going on our side.
Right.
And they went down, and they matched the score, 7-0, 7-7. Well, then Jacksonville was at the very least able to get a couple of field goals out of the rest of the first half, so you have to give them credit for that. And they were using Brian Thomas. They don't have Evan Ingram in that reliable target. They don't have Christian Kirk in that reliable target. So they're trying to get at least a few of these other guys involved. Brenton Strange was involved. Bigsby, ETN, both of them had nice starts to the game. ETN in particular had some nice starts to the game. Up front, they were blocking okay. Take a look at the numbers that Walker Little had, that RJ sent our way. It was okay. There was nothing that you would really poke holes in. But then when you go in the second half of the game and you got to keep it going.
Right. You got to make plays in the passing game. There were issues. I mean, Mac ran out of bounds and cost him 7 yards, man.
Yeah. Not ideal.
I mean, you can't do that.
No, you can't.
You can't. Like, even the last interception of the game, that's a bucket throw. You got to make that throw.
Yes. And
he overthrew it by 7 yards.
And by the way, there was time on the clock. There were timeouts to be had.
Yes, it was 3rd and 1. He could have got a sneak and got the first down and spiked it and started.
Yeah, you didn't need to go for that big
I also
throw.
blame the coaching staff there. That's a 3rd and 1. It should have been Mac. Just walk up, take the snap, get the first down, spike it.
Yeah, this team doesn't score enough though for me to basically say that was their fault. They were actually calling a game where they thought they might have a
right. No,
big
I get
play.
that, but that's also that's what you do in the NFL. That's one of those NFL things.
Yeah,
get the first down, spike it. You know what I mean?
This team went 4 games without scoring more than 20 points.
I know.
Okay, so they were not in this arena this late in a game.
I get that, but 3rd and 1
often.
and throwing a bucket throw like that is a reckless play.
I actually think those are the ones that you love as a play caller. I'm not defending Press Taylor or Doug Peterson necessarily, but 3rd and 1 is where you do go for it. You are trying to be
If you have
aggressive.
a guy that's played all season, then that's a franchise quarterback, sure.
Mac probably reached a little bit too much on that bad boy. It was a terrible throw.
And it didn't reach back, Joe.
Yeah, it was a terrible throw. But we can go back and forth.
Yeah,
on
he
whether,
played hard, though. Man,
Yeah.
I'm not really blaming him. He is what he is. He's a backup quarterback.
Yeah.
It's just that it's unfortunate because there were opportunities to win that game, just like there were opportunities to beat the Texans, and it didn't happen.
But it's so funny. We jump in and we go, it's 3rd and 1. Just go do the NFL thing. They've missed on so many 3rd
right, they
and
don't
ones.
do the NFL thing. Right, of course.
Well, they've missed on so many 3rd and 1s. And then they get to 4th and 1, and then they decide to go for it, and they don't get it. And so
They do
at the
a
very
jet
least,
sweep.
At the very least, this was a shot down the field that said Brian Thomas had been cooking all day. Let's give not necessarily was the target to him or perfect, but let's make that big play to see if we can win a football game. All right, so you guys let us know what you're thinking, 641-1010. But we will set up the theme very simply with this. I know you guys want changes. I want changes. I'm sure Matt would agree. And all of Duval is probably trying to get their voices heard as much as anything. I'll just start off in just a minute with the 20-game stretch that this team has been through from December of last year to December of this year. And we'll just go through it just real quick coming up here in a second. You guys are very aware of this. Yeah, we have to. Unfortunately, it's pain. All right, but we'll talk Jag ball, NFL ball. The Detroit Lions got kind of worked yesterday, knocked around by the Buffalo Bills. We'll talk about a few other ones. The Eagles, they definitely sent a message to the Steelers. So we got plenty of NFL to talk about, and then definitely some college football playoff talk that we will get to. Mocama Beer Company, we had a great time with them on Friday. We always say thanks to them on Mondays. You definitely check out their tap room Tuesday through Saturday, serving great craft, coffee every single day. They've got them right there on South 8th as you head into Fernandina, and then in Wildlight in Nassau as well. You can look for them on the shelves. Mocama, either at Total or ABC, or you can check out Mocama.com. So we're going to talk college football playoff, but primarily the Jags. Let us know what you're thinking. 641-1010.
Good drives bring more points. Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville brings you the drive of the game.
Great job.
On 1010XL. Drive to the game in luxury with Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. Most goals we set for ourselves have a clear path, like I want to go to Fiji. So you read a couple reviews, talk to some friends, book it, maybe a couple choices along the way, but overall, it's a clear course to reach your goal. Now, if your goal is to lose 40 or 50 pounds, where's the clear path? You read reviews, you talk to some friends, try something out, it doesn't work, you're disappointed, and we've all been there and it blows. Stop doing that. Do what I did. Reach your goal with Awaken 180 weight loss. It's a clear path to success without disappointment, no guesswork, no trial and error, no medication side effects. I'm proof. I lost 40 pounds in 9 weeks, and Hacker has lost 120 pounds on Awaken 180, and you can too. Trust me, it was simple. A word you never hear used with weight loss programs, unless, of course, you're referring to Awaken 180. Choose the simple, clear path to success with the solution for weight loss. Awaken 180 weight loss at awaken180weightloss.com.
Hey, y'all. Melissa Scobie here. And you know my husband, Josh, could really kick that ball. But when it comes to working around the house, well, not so much. So when I need irrigation, drainage, or seamless gutters, I rely on John Haney's crews at Clearwater. Hit it, guys.
Clearwater Irrigation.
And drainage, too.
ClearwaterJacks.com.
We're HAPPY, because Happy Honda Days are here. Everything is bigger. Bigger selection, bigger discounts, bigger trade-in values. Honda, quality, value, safety. Don't miss Happy Honda Days, going on now at your local Honda dealer.
You're riding in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios. XL Primetime on 1010XL.
AA Automotive helps keep your car in dependable travel condition. Stop in today. They'll check the brakes, tires, fluids, electric, and AC to get you right back to your holiday plans. AA Automotive on Richard Street. Full service auto repair you can count on.
If you're watching football this season, you know anything can happen. And on Hard Rock Bet, we mean anything. One fan in South Florida turned a $1 touchdown parlay into a $40,000 payday. Hard Rock Bet has parlays for days. With Flex parlays, now you can even miss a few picks and still get paid. Parlays for every kind of play. Only on Hard Rock Bet. Roll with us. When your first bet or get up to $100 back in bonus bets. Payable and bonus bet up to $100, not a cash offer. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Now, it's time to showcase the Crown Royal Special Teams Player of the Game. Live generously and life will treat you royally.
Cam Little was gigantic for the Teal and Black on Sunday. The rookie kicker went a perfect 4 for 4 on his field goal attempts and was without blemish on his extra point tries. The former Arkansas Razorback has been razor sharp this season and is your Crown Royal Special Teams Player of the Game.
Grinding out good grades can be just as challenging as winning games. That's why 1010XL salutes the Scholar Athlete of the Week.
Brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists and the Plumbers and Pipefitters Local Union 234. Wednesdays on The Frangie Show. Jacksonville's building a fence along the goal line. This is the Superior Fence and Rail Defensive Player of the Game. Superior Fence and Rail, where quality matters.
Jeremiah Ledbetter was an absolute force defensively for Jacksonville. The 6'3" defensive tackle produced 1 sack for the Teal and Black in what was a dominant showing. He had such a great performance that many flipped over how great it was. Jeremiah Ledbetter is your Superior Fence and Rail's defensive player of the game.
If you're tired of your fence looking like a bad hair day, well, it's time for a fence makeover with Superior Fence and Rail. They'll make your yard the talk of the town with a new fence installed by their expert team.
Your fence is fantastic.
My fence is giving all of my neighbors some serious pick and envy. Thanks, Superior Fence and Rail.
So get off the fence and call Superior Fence and Rail for your fence installation project today.
SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Hi, folks. I'm Frank Frangie for Ricketts Electric. Now, any good lineup needs power. When I needed a power connection for our new walk-off Charities baseball park, I found the perfect partner in Ricketts Electric. You're going to love these guys, I'm telling you. The Ricketts family has been providing commercial and residential electric service for years. So call my buddy Zach Ricketts today at 904-320-5960, and you can find them on Facebook as well. You will trust them. That's Ricketts Electric, the city's best power connection. Call them today at 320-5960.
Rotator cuff injuries are common among athletes and those who have physically demanding careers. Don't let this injury keep you away from the sport you love. Dr. George Barry here, and the first thing you need to do with a serious shoulder injury is to diagnose where the damage is and how significant it is. Rotator cuff tears are either acute tears sustained during an injury or accident, or degenerative tears. If you're interested in learning more about rotator cuff repair and how our expert team of orthopedic surgeons can help you, call Barry Orthopedics today or visit barryorthopedics.com.
Prossard here for Lifetime Flooring. You've heard us rave about Lifetime Enclosures. Now let's talk about Lifetime Flooring. I can tell you firsthand, the product, services, best in Jacksonville. As you know, updating your floors is one of the most dramatic changes you can make to your home. Call the experts at Lifetime Flooring now and ask about their buy one room, get one room free promotion through Christmas. 0% financing, available to meet any budget. Visit their beautiful showroom just off Phillips Highway. And as always, tell them Prosser sent you.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Jags 6 out of 10 on third. Mack drops, fires, middle of the field, caught Brian Thomas Jr. inside the 10, inside the 5, toward the goal line. Touchdown! Mac Jones to Brian Thomas Jr. and the Jags have retaken the lead.
I think so. I mean, I think he's had a heck of a season for a rookie, receiver, and not only here in Jacksonville, but in the NFL. And like I said, I think there's more, as he continues to grow and learn, and he can get better. But I'll tell you this: it's just he's a good, humble kid that does work hard, and he has been a very, very big bright spot for our offense all season.
It's Mocama Monday on XL Primetime. Head to the tap room in Fernandina Beach every day that ends with Y and enjoy some Mocama.
So Doug Peterson, that cut courtesy of Jaguars.com after the game, talking about what Brian Thomas represents. The bright spot. If you're looking for one, you probably will name that one, and you may not name another. Name another bright spot. I don't think there is. There isn't.
You said if you're looking for one.
All right, I want you to name a couple of. Can I get back to you? Just one. But if you have over 100 yards, 10 grabs, couple of touchdowns, and he was money yesterday. He really was. Now, you'll probably also point out he had a chance to make what could have been maybe viewed as the game winner. And it was a throw, a catchable pass, but that's just how it goes. He if you want to take that one non-catch and dismiss the 10 grabs and the 100 yards and the 2 scores, well, then you're probably just angry. You're probably just looking for something to take away as opposed to applaud. But he is a dynamic playmaker that this football team hasn't necessarily had in a long time. Right now, more potential as that number one than you saw after Calvin's first year as the number one here. I don't think there's any question about that. Yeah. He's on a rookie contract. He's much cheaper, and he's got more.
He's a better player.
Yeah, that's what it looks like to me. Yeah. But when Calvin was going early in his career, let's not forget that. He was a catch machine. He made big plays. That's why they went out and got him originally.
No, I was talking about from that season. Calvin really early was terrific.
Yeah. And so that's what I'm saying, just to try and measure it up, because Brian Thomas Jr., like, we have a lot of young players right now that look like if they keep this going, well, my gosh, they're going to walk right into the Hall of Fame. They don't all keep it going. It's very hard for any of them to keep it going. But he looks like he represents size, speed, hands, route running, all that stuff.
On this team?
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, period, as a rookie.
You can make an argument he's the only one on the team, actually.
Yeah.
You could easily make that argument.
Yeah. Christian Kirk now has had 2 injury-riddled years. That's cut his season short. He was a high-paid cat back.
I meant like a lock for stardom.
Yeah.
Like stardom. I'm not sure Josh Hines Allen is stardom. I think he had a great year, and he translated that to a top 5 paid position at his position.
Yeah, he's not. He's not
and
delivered on that.
Trayvon Walker's kind of tailed off the last few games.
Yeah, neither one have delivered. Now, they still are missing presence inside.
No doubt.
That will collapse a pocket and let them eat. They are still missing that. But they also did not have that last year, and they got to 29.5 sacks. So we have to recognize that they were getting it done last year without necessarily any big man in the middle, and they are not getting it done nearly as much this year. But
that's clearly the outlier.
Yeah. It just like we talked about, the 22 playoff run, outlier.
Last season's sacks, outlier.
Yeah, nearly 30 sacks between the two. Certainly looks like an outlier. But I do need a round of applause. And Jeremiah Ledbetter, man, I love you. Okay, I don't know whether you're a good player or not, but any big man that will make a play on Aaron Rodgers and then do a backflip like he did, and he almost did not pull it off, but that was just awesome. And so just in the words of Chris Farley, that was awesome. And so
not only that, and by the way, with that sack, he finally tied Roy Robinson Harris for number 3 on the team in sacks.
Incredible.
At 2.
Incredible.
So now we can no longer say the guy that's 3rd on the team in sacks left the team 2 months ago.
Yeah, who has been gone for a long, long time. Finally, someone went past him.
I mean, that on its own, honestly, that right there on its own should be enough to fire Balky. Right there.
Okay, so let's make it the 10-10 take, because this is what I was going to bring up here in just a second. We'll just kind of pair it all together.
Now, Joe C's 10-10 take. Slow smoked and served up by Sonny's Barbecue. Local pitmaster since 68.
Well, they have to shop for the groceries and cook them. So Sonny's knows exactly what they're doing on both ends. They want to make sure they get good food in the door, cook it up properly, and serve it to you fast. They can do it. Make sure you check out any one of your area Sonny's. So we always separate the guys that are buying the groceries in a football world, which is the guy in charge of personnel, and then the guy doing the cooking, which is the coach, and then the actual players themselves. And we always have to divvy it up. Who's more responsible? Is it the actual guy bringing the personnel in? Is it the guy in his coaching staff developing the players that have been drafted? And then is it the players themselves? We will never truly know the end of this argument. But to Matt's point, and the fact that Jeremiah Ledbetter has become a guy that's just barely stepped into that spotlight as the number 3 sack getter on this Jaguars team in December, and he just barely got to where Roy Robertson Harris was, who has been gone for a couple of months. He was gone in October, and now this guy has just matched it. So personnel, it's still vastly short of where they need to be to know that they can man both sides of the ball, offense and defense, and go and dominate, particularly at the line of scrimmage. And that falls under Trent Baalke's job description. That's the 10-10 take. He has not done a good enough job to say that there are enough people in place to go out and win football games.
You know,
as much as I love Jeremiah.
In old school football, the thought process, and this is, we're all changed now because everything's shotgun and everything's spread and you're throwing the ball all over the place. But in old school football, the thought process was if you are not strong up the middle, both sides of the ball, you are not winning games. And I mean, fullback, which there's no more fullbacks anymore.
Right, but you can
the middle 3 on the offensive line.
Yeah.
Then the 2 defensive tackles when everybody was running a 4-3. Now there's 3-4s now, obviously. 2 defensive tackles, the middle linebacker, and your strong safety. If you weren't strong in those areas, you weren't winning games.
Yeah.
And if you look at this team, are they strong in any of those areas?
No, and we used to talk about this with Big John Henderson, Big Baby, Marcus Stroud, Mike Pete, or whomever was back there,
right,
basically running that middle linebacker. And Leon, who's out today, will be back tomorrow. He talked about that big three. And if you can do something against that big three, you're doing work. Same thing on the interior part of the offensive line. If you can get your run game going, lather up that offensive line.
That's where you get the push.
Right,
Yeah.
and start knocking people off the ball, well, then you're doing work. And those are the two, you can call it a triangle on defense and the middle three on offense. You have to have them. And teams that are doing that primarily, that's who they have. And they can dominate you and stop you when they need to. And they can obviously go and own the clock by running the football or giving your quarterback time.
I think one of the – look, you guys always hear me say that they need to put pieces around Trevor. When I say that, I mean – I don't mean receivers. Receivers are nice. I mean big bodies, man. Big bodies on offense, big bodies on defense. Guys that can move the line of scrimmage on offense and guys that can clog the line of scrimmage on defense. The game is won on the line of scrimmage.
I think
Period. That's where it's won.
I think the biggest thing, and this is something real easy, you don't even have to have the great football eye to figure this out. Just watch and see where your running back is hit. Watch and see where the first contact is. See successful teams that will get a running back past the line of scrimmage before they meet their first defender. And then watch this football team. That guy, ETN or Tank, barely get back to the line of scrimmage before meeting contact.
Yep.
And sometimes it's in the backfield. Now, it happens more often than not here. It's not like it doesn't happen in other NFL cities, because it does, but it happens more often here. Yesterday, they actually got a little push up front. They got to where they could get second level before they met a defender and had to deal with contact. They actually had some success there yesterday, but they haven't had it on any regular basis.
Think about the Chiefs, okay?
Mm-hmm.
The Chiefs have the best middle three in the NFL offensive line.
Yeah, because
phenomenal.
Okay, they had suspect tackles.
Think about on the defense side of the ball. They've got Chris Jones and Noddy.
Yeah.
Okay, clogging up the middle.
Yeah.
Right. And then at middle linebacker, you got Nick Bolton.
Yeah.
He any good?
Yeah, Bolton's good for sure, and he's been one of those guys that came through the draft and was developed. And you can go down the line.
Justin Reed's their strong safety.
Yeah, and McDuffie.
Again, they've got Mahomes.
Yeah.
I get it. I'm a Mahomes guy, but all I'm telling you is they're strong up the middle. They are strong up the middle.
That offensive line, the interior part, before Tooney got hurt last year, they were the heart and soul. And Trey Smith, really good, but they were the heart and soul. And they went out and got Creed and put him in the middle right out of the draft.
Right.
Put him in there.
Right.
And he's been solid. Take a look at all the other teams that are running crazy. And we can still mention the Detroit Lions, even though they did get smoked yesterday by Buffalo, but that's the interior part of their line.
Yes, their interior line's unreal.
Yeah. All right, so a couple off the text line, and they're ripping on Josh Hines-Allen. You're reading text like he's overrated, Lloyd is garbage, what linebacker can cover Devontae Adams, and then the other ones. The team looks better with Mac than Trevor. And so you got all sorts of opinions.
Why, I mean,
on this
seriously.
football
I
team.
mean, why do you guys even do that? Seriously.
Look, and you can wish for it or want it. You can wish one guy out of town and wish the hometown cat can get it done. But I think we know over time one guy has had more success, and the other guy is now out of a starter's job. That's just where we are. And this football team's still got to try and figure out a lot of other things. Whoever is back there, and it's going to be Trevor for the long term. Just so you guys know, I don't want to break it to you,
right?
In any other way,
you guys, but that's the reality of it. I will say this: I do wish. I love Max Moxie. Love it. Man.
Yeah.
I love the way he acts.
He was
his attitude.
chattering and chirping
I wish Trevor
yesterday.
had that.
Yeah.
I wish Trevor had that Moxie.
Yeah.
If you could put that part in Trevor, then you'd have something, man.
Yeah, you want a guy that's got the fire in the belly, that wants to take it to you, that wants to rip whatever you have.
Every once in a while,
away
he'll
from you.
do it. Every once in a while, every once in a blue moon, Trevor, you'll see that from him. But it's not like every play like Mac, which I love.
Well, this still comes down to the quarterback, the relationship that he has with his head coach, the relationship that he has with his offensive coordinator, the scheme itself. Because honestly, the way the game is going right now, this offense does not look like it has everything in it that you'd want. And you've got to get pieces up front for us to ever find out if Trevor Lawrence is the quote, generational guy. We still got to find that out. All right, so let's touch on a couple of other things in the NFL, but then also some college football playoff. I have some odds right now on at least what Vegas is thinking going forward, because we got the first round of college football playoff games and then what they think might happen and what the odds are. So we'll touch on that coming up. First game, Friday night. We will talk about that one because that's where Matt Hayes will be with USA Today Sports, which unbelievable. We'll give the weather forecast coming up here in just a second. But this is what we talked about. Weather will now be a piece of the college football national championship puzzle, whether we like it or not.
The First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL.
Yo, what's happening, fellas? It's your boy E to the T, and I'm going to keep it real. We could all benefit from a little something extra in the bedroom. Blue Chew can help. And I'm about to tell you how you can get some for free. Blue Chew is an online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in a chewable form and at a fraction of the cost. No doctor visits, no waiting in line at the pharmacy. Blue Chew ships right to your door in a discreet package. Not even them nosy neighbors gonna know what's going on. Blue Chew's licensed medical providers work with you to find the right ingredients and strength for your prescription. And did I mention the chewable? Just like popping a Mentos. And they're made right here in the good old US of A. Now you're asking, how do I get my Blue Chew? Visit BlueChew.com and make sure to enter promo code 1010XL at checkout. Try it for free and just pay $5 shipping. Turn that oh no into a oh yeah. That's right. Use promo code 1010XL and let your boy hook you up with some Blue Chew. Get your confidence back. Visit BlueChew.com.
Epic offers. Factory direct pricing on AC equipment from Epic Cool Heating and Air. Call 904-859-EPIC. Epic discounts for military, police, first responders, and 1010 listeners like you. Epic Cool Heating and Air.
Post Game Monday on 1010XL is brought to you by Dandy Foods, makers of quality fresh sandwiches and home of the good stuff.
Mia here for MyBookie. It's Monday Night Football time, and we've got the scoop, so let's dive into tonight's doubleheader. The Bears head to Minnesota as 7-point underdogs against the Vikings with a 43.5-point over-under. Give a look at the Bears to cover on the road. They've been pretty good against the spread of late. Game 2, the Atlanta Falcons take on the Raiders at Allegiant Stadium in Vegas. The Falcons are favored by 4 points. They've shown resilience on the road. They can cover that spread. For those of you eyeing the total points, we're predicting an over-under of 44 with moments of offensive fireworks. We'll lean towards the over. Picture a high-scoring affair under the Vegas lights. MyBookie has the best odds for Monday Night Football. Remember, it's all action all the time. Bet with confidence, and be sure to check out MyBookie, the best sign-up bonus in the industry for Florida bettors. Our listeners can sign up and use promo code 1010XL to claim a bonus that doubles your money on your first deposit up to $1,000. Promo code 1010XL to claim your double deposit bonus for Monday Night Football. Bet anywhere, anytime, and make your season a winning season with MyBookie.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm dedicated to helping businesses manage risk, maximize opportunities, and move their company forward. Jimerson Burr attorneys are business-oriented lawyers, equally comfortable as community leaders, private transaction counselors, or courtroom advocates. If you have a legal issue of any kind affecting your business, contact the firm at 389-0050 or jimersonfirm.com.
It's the final days to get Inflation Fighter savings at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned. The final days to save thousands with just $500 down and $288 per month for a pre-owned 2021 Toyota Corolla. Or you choose a pre-owned 2021 Camry, RAV4, or Tacoma for $500 down and $388 per month. Don't wait. The final days of Inflation Fighter savings are here, so get to Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned today. Shop in person, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com.
This Day in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On December 16, 1973, NFL running back O.J. Simpson becomes the first NFL running back to rush for 2,000 yards in one season, accomplishing the feat in 14 games.
Mia here. Since 1982, Closets by Design has specialized in creating dream spaces for every budget. My designer, Frances, made the process so easy. She came to my house and designed a walk-in closet that's not only beautiful, but also incredibly functional for me and old Beau Valentine. Call today to schedule your free in-home consultation at 800-293-3744. Hey, and if you mention Mia or Helmets and Heels, you'll qualify for free base molding. Call today or visit closetsbydesign.com.
If you suffer from constant burning, tingling, or numbness in your hands or feet, it could be a serious condition called neuropathy. I'm Dr. Nathan Riddle, DC with Riddle Wellness in Ponte Vedra. Neuropathy is treatable, and we have seen great results by using state-of-the-art, non-invasive therapies to target damaged nerves, reduce symptoms, and improve nerve function. Call 904-395-5598 to schedule your free consultation today and learn how you can live pain-free. Call 904-395-5598.
Experience the winning combination of style and performance with Renewal by Andersen, energy-efficient, custom-built replacement windows and doors. Right now, buy one window or patio door and get one 40% off. Plus, 0 down, no payments, and no interest for 18 months. The first 50 customers get a free True Screen upgrade, but this offer expires December 31st. Renewal by Andersen, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com for details.
License number CGC 1527613.
I'm here with Danny Van Sickle, director of the Electrical Training Alliance. Danny, tell me about your program.
Hey, Rick, we're a 4-year electrical apprenticeship. Our students start out making over $40,000 a year and right now make over $90,000 a year, including benefits. There is no tuition or student debt. You just have to apply and get accepted.
Did you say no tuition and no student debt?
You heard that right, Rick. Once you're accepted to the program, your only cost for the books and the course fees. About $800 a year.
That sounds like an amazing opportunity. How can I learn more?
Just go to etajax.org and you can apply there.
Apply by May 15th.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Former Jaguars quarterback David Garrard was impressed with what he saw on Sunday from tight end Brenton Strange.
You guys, he looked like a man out there. Every time he got the ball in his hand, I just kept thinking he's going to get like 5 or 6 more yards every time he catches it, even with guys hitting him as he's catching the ball and then turning up, having another guy hit him, still shucking him to the side and gathering and getting more yards every time. Like, he proved to me yesterday that he should get the ball more in his hands because he's angry when he runs and after he catches it.
David Garrard with Jaguars Today on Brenton Strange with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update. I'm Andrew Gibson.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Dropping is Rodgers. Looking. Time. Too much time. Fires deep down the middle of the field. That's Devontae Adams. Make the catch. 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Stays on his feet. Touchdown. A long bomb touchdown to Devontae Adams down the middle of the field. 71 yards. He beat the Jaguar defense over the top. And the Jets have taken the lead 23-22 with 3:24 to play in the game.
I think the communication was good. It's just how you go throughout the play. But you got to understand, offenses might understand what you're communicating, understand your assignments, and then do a little variation on that changes, responsibilities a little bit, just how you're reading the play. So keep learning, keep growing. We got young guys and stuff. Just keep learning, keep growing, keep over-communicating out there. I want to see it keep growing to the end of the year. Because regardless of what happens, I think we can all become better football players by the end of the year.
It's Mocama Monday on XL Primetime. Head to the tap room at Fernandina Beach every day that ends with Y and enjoy some Mocama.
I definitely enjoyed some Mocama over the weekend. Definitely had a great time up in Fernandina Beach, Amelia Island. That was Foye Aluakon in the locker room afterwards. And the play that you heard Frank Frangie on the call as the flagship home of the Jacksonville Jaguars, that was probably a tough one for him to call.
Frank, he had so much hope in that play initially.
Yeah.
And play it again real quick, RJ.
Yeah.
Because he had hope, high hope early.
Yeah. Early is
he sounded
key.
like he thought, okay, this might work. And then
71 yards.
Right. And then it just kind of went to sad Frange again, which we don't like. You do not like
Dropping
sad
is Rodgers. Looking. Time. Too much time. Fires deep down the middle of the field. That's Devontae Adams. Make the catch. 25, 20, 15, 10.
That's
5. Stays on his feet. Touchdown.
There's nothing you could do at that point.
No.
Devontae, that's what they've been looking for up there in New York ever since they made the trade for him. And it's crazy to think they showed some of the video. You go back and watch the game, and they take him back 11 years ago or whenever it was, 2014, 11 seasons ago. And it was the first touchdown that Devontae scored. That guy has been incredible to watch for a long, long time.
He has, but the reality was the linebacker didn't drop.
Yeah.
If the linebacker drops, that might even be a pick.
Yeah.
That's probably why Frank was so excited, because he's watched enough NFL games knowing if you're playing that coverage and the linebacker drops where he should be dropping, that's a pick.
Well, it's so funny. We argue about linebackers and whether Devin Lloyd should be doing this, and others on the text line, where the hell was Ventrell Miller? Totally agree. He was in just for a handful of snaps, not nearly as much. He has warranted more play, and yet the snap counts just weren't there for him yesterday. Devin Lloyd is a linebacker. The position does call for you to drop in coverage from time to time. Not all the time, but from time to time. You are asked to do that.
Yeah, I don't care. He should not be playing that position.
Well, here's where
I know
arrived.
we argue about it all the time, but he should not be playing that position.
Right, here's where I've arrived. They started out playing him on the outside with a different defensive coordinator. They went to this defensive coordinator. This defensive coordinator now has him playing in the middle. He's actually done okay against the run versus coverage, and I still have seen him rush the passer, but not enough. I haven't seen enough guys get to the quarterback, period, and you still have to drop in coverage. That's just the way it is. It's a reality in today's world. They throw the ball.
I know, but
they are the middle line of defense.
But if he keeps getting beat, I mean, at what point as the DC do you say, okay, it's not working?
I know, but
if he keeps blowing coverages and doesn't pass off, the last play against Devontae Adams, he literally went left when he should have gone right.
Yeah,
he was moving right, then snapped back left.
There was Jarian Jones was the guy, and they were talking about me. Was in the locker room, and they played that soundbite earlier where that was his responsibility. So the pass off is there. They're all coached to understand. Believe me, I don't believe there is a world where Devin Lloyd is responsible for Devontae Adams. Okay, I just don't believe
right.
that.
There just can't be.
No, and so Jarian Jones was the guy that was supposed to pick that up, did not. But to the texter's point, what has Devin Lloyd ever done for this team? Well, you have to make those types of plays. And like I just said to Matt, he has played now in 4 years' time 3 different positions, or at least 3 different position responsibilities.
And every one of them the wrong position.
I believe that does include rushing the passer.
No, they have not put him on the edge. They have not done that.
Okay, well, they haven't put him on the edge, but they have had him at outside linebacker where he has been
put his hand on the ground and go get the quarterback.
And then once we do that, we'll get to the point. Well, that didn't work.
Okay, well, here's what we can do. You can keep trying Yashir Abdullah and all the other guys you've tried out there who have done nothing.
Yeah, look, and
when I say nothing, I literally mean nothing.
Yeah, Yashir has gotten to the quarterback at least once.
It's like a half sack, I think.
I thought it was a full. But anyway.
It might be a full.
I 100% get your point. It's
you got a guy who's like 6'4", 255. Get him out there.
Okay.
And tell him to go get the quarterback, because that's what he did in college. That's what made him so good in college.
Here's another thing I got for you.
I know it's not the same game. I get that.
Right.
I get that.
Just because they did it in college doesn't mean they can do it in the National Football League. And it's just, this is where we are.
Right, but if you're in year 4 and he has not proven yet that he can cover, why do you keep doing it?
Okay, this is the part where I love this. I love when we have these spars. Name another linebacker in the National Football League that is not responsible for coverage.
No.
There are plenty of middle linebackers that are
listen to me.
not even out on that down.
I'm not disagreeing with that at all.
Yeah.
My point is, why is he there? If he can't cover, why is he playing linebacker?
Well, let me just repeat myself. They moved him from outside linebacker because he was perhaps more of a liability.
No, I mean all 3 linebacker spots.
Hear me now.
Saying, okay?
Hear me now. Okay. Outside linebacker, more responsible in coverage than middle linebacker. They put on the helmet. They said you're going to be middle
has
linebacker.
coverage responsibilities. You know that, right?
I know that. Yes. That's my whole point, is that it won't go away. If you're going to play that position, and even defensive end, you have to drop from time to time. But this is going to get me to one other guy, because I hate doing this, but this is just where I'm at. Okay, I'm frustrated with all of this. I've been watching Nick Bonito here of late. He is a Broncos linebacker. Okay, he is a guy that right now is making plays left and right under, I guess you could say, Sean Payton, but primarily Vance Joseph. He's the guy who has gone out there and put together a game plan where this guy can be a dynamic playmaker. Well, guess what? He went in the second round of going back to the 2022 draft. Guess what happened with this football team? This team traded up to get Devin Lloyd. This team moved up and out of the second round to get their mitts on Devin Lloyd, 27th pick overall, which left them out of the second round, which is where Nick Bonito was discovered.
Nick Bonito plays on an odd front. He's a rush end. They have him at linebacker because that's what it's called, linebacker. He's a rush end, which is what Devin Lloyd should be. Go get the quarterback.
Oh, my gosh. I just feel like sometimes I just don't know what else to say.
Is he not? Is Nick Bonito not an outside linebacker?
Yeah, but you know what
in
else?
an odd front, which is a rush end, correct?
But you know what else he does? He drops in coverage.
Right. I can handle Devin Lloyd dropping once or twice on zone blitz stuff. I can handle that. I can't handle him dropping 10, 12, 15, 16 times.
Okay, that's probably what he's doing. That's probably exactly
what I'm saying.
what he's
so
doing.
we can't deal with that.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
I'm saying between 2 and 15 or 16. I don't have the count. This is crazy.
No, I'm saying Bonito on the outside for the Broncos, he drops when they do zone blitz stuff, okay? That's when he drops.
I have seen Nick Bonito 2 of the last 3 games pick off passes.
Okay.
That means he's dropping in coverage and making plays.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't disagree with that. Yeah. I'm just telling you his main focus is get the quarterback.
100%. But I also believe that there are other, in other words, if we start rushing Devin Lloyd, if we say, hey, cheap trick.
I'm just trying to put Devin Lloyd in the best position to have success. That's all I'm doing.
It doesn't exist. And it's not going to be the answer.
Okay, so now we're there.
Yeah.
Now we're there. You think it doesn't exist. He cannot have success. That's fine.
Just all I'm saying is we need to get off of that one thing because there's 1,000 things.
Okay, so now that you've said that, I see where you stand now. Yeah. You just think Devin Lloyd's just not any good. That's fine. I don't mind that at all.
I just think he's not playing nearly as well as what his pick warranted. Because
I don't disagree with that at all. Yeah,
because we have constantly said, hey, look at what he did at Utah. Well, he's been in the league now. This is his. He and Trayvon have been in the league now for 3 years. They have got to make those types of plays if they're that guy. Ventrell Miller missed all of last year and came in and at the very least started to make an impact. Totally different guy in terms of what they're asking him to do, but they're both linebackers.
All right, now that I see what you're saying, that you just don't think he's any good, fine, I'm fine with that. All I'm saying is you got to see it my way. All I'm saying is they shouldn't continue to try and knock a square peg in a round hole. Yeah. It's not what he is.
And the one thing that I'm really stuck on is that he's played, for my money, 3 different ways. He's played when they first came in and Caldwell put together the 3-4 outside linebacker. Lost that job for a minute or maybe a little bit longer than that. Muma went in. He came back, cleared his head, played a little bit better, came back the next year. They tried to scheme him up just a little bit different. Didn't quite get the job done the way he was hoping. And then this year they put him in the middle. So they've moved him around.
No, I get that, but he's never.
And now it's a 4-man front.
He's never been a rush end in an odd front. Never. Yeah. My point is, next year he's gonna, he'll go to the Steelers or something or the Ravens, and they'll put him on as a rush end in an odd front. He's gonna be a stud.
But both he and Trayvon in an odd front were outside linebackers. That means both of them had the opportunity to rush the passer. I believe that.
Right, but his responsibility in that front was not get the quarterback.
Yeah,
clearly.
I knew we were going to stay on it. I wanted to get off of it. All right. A couple of other things. I need to make this point real quick because this is the part that when I brought up the whole idea that Nick Bonito was taken in the second round, this was the same year that Trent Baalke traded up to get not only one linebacker in the first round, but another linebacker in the first round, and then waited to the third round to get another linebacker. This is how bright that front office led by Baalke has been. So from December of last year to December of this year, they have played 20 football games, and they are 4-16 in those 20 football games. We all know how bad the record is. But just to illuminate that for 1 second, they won 1 game in December of 23, and that included games against Jake Browning and Joe Flacco. They won 1 game in December of 23 against the worst team in America, who picked number 1 in the Carolina Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
And then they won 0 in September of this year, after all the changes that were made, 0 in September. They won 2 in October, and they just won another one as we begin December. That is what you have had. That's why all of Duval suffers the way they suffer. And that's why they're so ticked off. They want something done. And it really does come from a couple of different spots in that building. It's not just one spot. It's the coaching. It's the players. It's the development of them, and it's the selection of them. All of those things are included in this hot mess. It's unbelievable.
Right. The problem is they've got us fighting against each other when we
Unbelievable.
fighting against them.
Yeah, and all we're trying to do is figure out. Matt's just like, I want to see him in that spot, and then go, well, that didn't work. And so I don't know. I'd like to think that he was going to be a better player than ultimately he has shown to be right now. And I think we all have watched a lot of ball, and linebackers have to get out there and cover. Fred Warner and all the other ones. We mentioned Nick Bolden. Some of these guys, they got to be out there as part of their responsibility, middle of that defense. All right, Mokama Beer Company Monday. We keep it rolling. Don't forget Mokama.com. You can check out all that they've got to offer. Great craft Tuesday through Sunday up there in beautiful Nassau County. College football playoff, we promise it's coming. We'll talk about it coming up in the 3 o'clock hour.
Relive the best moments from the weekend's games.
That's what superstars do.
Post-game Monday.
Expert analysis of Sunday's game all day.
Brought to you by Dandy Foods, makers of quality fresh sandwiches and home of the good stuff on 1010XL.
Cigar smokers, all-pro lineman Leon Searcy here for my favorite spot, Cigars International. Cigars International is now open at the Town Center, a massive 6,200 square foot lounge with over 600 cigar brands, a full-service bar, and indoor and outdoor lounges with flat-screen TVs. Give their old fashions a try. They're the best in town. Follow on social for holiday specials and events. Cigars International is now open at the Town Center.
Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
Hackers don't take the holidays off. Do you know if your data is safe? One attack could mean financial losses and damaged trust. DoubleCheck Cybersecurity protects your business 24/7 with AI-enhanced solutions. Stay secure. Visit doublecheck.com today.
MyGate Rewards members, now through January 2nd, you'll get an entry for your chance to win free gas for a year each time you buy 5 eligible Monster Club products. Not a rewards member? Download the Gate app today. See store for details.
Buckle up. You're in the First Coast Honda Dealers Studios with XL Primetime on 1010XL. Find your new Honda at your 8 local Honda dealers.
This season, check out our revamped website at southernsteerbutcher.com. Click on the Promotions tab, and our Jacksonville weekly grilling specials will hit you in the face like a hot route over the middle.
For tasty tips and juicy breasts, choose Southern Steer Butcher.
It's the Jaguars' final home game of the 2024 regular season, and you don't want to miss it. Join us Sunday, December 29th for our fan appreciation game when the Jaguars take on the Tennessee Titans.
It's going to go over on down, and the Jags are going to win the ball game.
To lock in your seats for this divisional matchup, head to jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. We'll see you there, Jags fans.
Why do you choose Farah and Farah? First, we have the financial resources to take on any insurance company, and our track record proves that we know how to win. Our attorneys and staff are a team, and we've worked together for decades. To us, our job is much more than just a paycheck. We love to help, and this is important. We never forget. It's not about us. It's all about you. Farah and Farah, Jacksonville.
Go inside your home team's locker room with Jags beat reporter Hayes Carline.
Check out my blog at 1010XL.com
so you can catch all the news and nuggets you need to know.
My blog is brought to you by Roland Reach Plumbing,
where quality and experience count.
Navy Mutual was created by service members for service members, so we know what it means to serve. Our policies have no active duty service restrictions, so you can rest assured that you're covered no matter your duty station, home or abroad. To go even further, we promise that premiums will not be higher for those who serve in dangerous environments, including aviation, diving, or on deployments. Let us help you protect those you love the most. Learn more at NavyMutual.org.
This is Mark Nato. My sons and I have seen the doctors and PAs at Southeast Ortho for everything from lumbar spine stress to elbow tendonitis. Southeast has always been there, been truthful, and always been on point. Everything they say happens. We can't thank them enough for what they've done and the great care that they have taken of our sons.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. Call 904-722-1111.
Instant Keys saves the day if you've lost or broken keys. They can program new keys and remotes for nearly every make and model of vehicle at a fraction of the dealership cost. Fast, honest, and reliable locksmith service. Call Instant Keys, 722-1111.
Hey, this is Bert Cannon with the First Coast YMCA. Youth sports at the Y can help nurture your future athlete's potential and experience the joy of being a kid. At the Y, we're providing a safe, clean, and fun environment with basketball, soccer, volleyball, gymnastics, elite skills training, and more. Best of all, participation in Legacy Youth Sports League is free with your family membership. Visit fcymca.org to learn all about youth sports at the Y.
Jacksonville's building a fence along the goal line. This is the Superior Fence and Rail Defensive Player of the Game. Superior Fence and Rail, where quality matters.
Jeremiah Ledbetter was an absolute force defensively for Jacksonville. The 6'3" defensive tackle produced 1 sack for the Teal and Black in what was a dominant showing. He had such a great performance that many flipped over how great it was. Jeremiah Ledbetter is your Superior Fence and Rail's defensive player of the game.
If you're tired of your fence looking like a bad hair day, well, it's time for a fence makeover with Superior Fence and Rail. They'll make your yard the talk of the town with a new fence installed by their expert team.
Your fence is fantastic.
My fence is giving all of my neighbors some serious pick and envy. Thanks, Superior Fence and Rail.
So get off the fence and call Superior Fence and Rail for your fence installation project today.
SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Hey, y'all. Melissa Scobie here. And you know my husband, Josh, could really kick that ball. But when it comes to working around the house, well, not so much. So when I need irrigation, drainage, or seamless gutters, I rely on John Haney's crews at Clearwater. Hit it, guys.
Clearwater Irrigation.
And drainage, too.
ClearwaterJacks.com.
I'm Max Fink here with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. An interesting story was developing in Tallahassee this morning involving head coach Mike Norvell's contract following the Seminoles' disappointing 2-10 season. Norvell reportedly agreed to send $4.5 million of his 2025 salary directly to the school's NIL fund. On 3's Andy Inari podcast breaks down some details of the move on today's show.
Florida State has no leverage in this situation. Like, they would owe Mike Norvell $70 million if they fired him. But Mike Norvell probably is sitting here going, you know, they gave me a raise to $10 million a year last year. I certainly didn't earn that with my performance last year. So perhaps I can help because I'm financially taken care of here. That $4.5 million probably goes straight to football player money.
It's 70 degrees at 3 o'clock. Time and Temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
It is my honor to announce that the 2024 Heisman Award goes to Travis Hunter.
It's Mocama Monday on XL Primetime. Head to the tap room at Fernandina Beach every day that ends with Y and enjoy some Mocama.
College football, the scene Saturday night up in the Big Apple. And Travis Hunter, as expected, a prohibitive favorite. I think it was, sound right, Matt? Minus 2,500, something like that. It was crazy. XL Primetime into the 3 o'clock hour. Mocama Beer Company Monday. Always enjoy coming out of the weekend with all the ball that we get to watch, and then now we get to look forward to a college football playoff week building up to all the big games. But that was definitely the scene Saturday night when Travis Hunter won out over the other finalists, Ashton Jeanty of Boise State, Dylan Gabriel of Oregon, Cam Ward of Miami, all up in New York. Now, I guess the publicity that Travis Hunter got, the two-way star, definitely a unicorn. There's no question about it. And you could easily win an argument if you say Travis Hunter is the best player in college football. But at the same time, it did seem like as much of a popularity contest and the anti-running back.
Well, wait. Why would you say it meant like more of a popularity contest?
Because I think whenever we start talking about who wins the Heisman, most of the time we gravitate to the player that is the best on the best team, because that's kind of where we've been here of late. A team that is playing for a national championship, you would expect that they would have better players or one of the better players in college football, and there's a lot of people that go in that direction. We'll just point out quickly, both me and Matt are honored to be able to vote on the Heisman. But would you agree with that? A lot of people will gravitate to the best player on the best team, and for a while, it's been a minute.
Best quarterback on the best team.
I was going to say, it's been a minute when it hasn't been the quarterback. And so then enter Travis Hunter. And this guy goes out and he makes play after play after play on both sides of the ball. And when he does it, he dominates. He's so good. And so I didn't really have a problem with Travis Hunter winning the Heisman, but I did feel like there was a little bit of a popularity contest that went along with him. Now, the cool thing about it is that a guy won the Heisman that had nothing to do with being in the national championship race. So that is acknowledging his play. Right?
It's acknowledging his play, and it's acknowledging the impact of Deion on the sport is what it is.
Yeah.
He's a terrific player.
This was almost a vote for Deion,
But if he's playing for Iowa State, I'm not sure he wins the Heisman.
Okay, you're helping make my point, because that's the popularity part of it that I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
And it was almost a vote for Deion, and I do agree with you in that respect.
Well, like if you've got an Alabama running back or a Georgia or LSU running back that's rushed for 2,400 yards and has 30-something touchdowns, they're winning the Heisman.
Yeah.
Over Travis Hunter at Colorado.
And when he's that close to meeting Barry Sanders' all-time record. Now, they're playing more games. We get all that.
I think he's only 180 yards away.
146, I believe.
Yeah, less than that, I think.
Something like that. But what Barry Sanders did should never, ever be minimized. Now, it was a time when the running back was the focal point of the game, and everything ran through the running back. But you go back and look at the numbers and what Barry Sanders didn't do in the first couple of games that he played in, or at least the first game that he played in that year, and then watch what he did from that point on, and know that it was an 11-game schedule and all that compared to what we're seeing right now. It was incredible what he did. So Ashton Jeanty had my full attention. And you went out and did a story on him out at Boise State. He's an impressive cat. Anyone who gets him. Now, Travis Hunter, the unicorn part of this is that there are stars that play both sides of the football that have garnered the attention or won the hearts of the public. For sure.
Yeah.
Charles Woodson being the most recent one.
Charles Woodson and Gamble at Ohio State in the early 2000s.
Yeah, you had a few.
Champ Bailey.
Mm-hmm.
There's been a few.
Yeah, but nothing that really locked up the minds of many. Like
Nobody
Travis
that consistently played 150-plus plays every game. Gamble was probably the closest.
Yeah, he played 160 plays. Not on average, but...
Chris Gamble was probably the closest of all of them to consistently play both ways like that week after week in an elite-level conference.
Yeah. So I'll just reveal that I voted Ashton Jeanty number 1. I voted Travis Hunter number 2. I voted Cam Ward number 3. Because what Cam Ward did was special. That guy was something else to watch. What Travis Hunter did, yes, okay? And especially when you start talking draft, that guy represents a ton of possibilities on either side of the ball for whoever drafts him. And it may be your Jaguars when it's all said and done. But I did want to really look at what Jeanty did over time for, there were other things that ran through Boise State's offense, but he was the heart and soul. They knew what the game plan was when he came in.
You'll watch him in the playoff. He's everything. If he's not, if they're not running the ball, they're done.
Mm-hmm.
When they run the ball, I mean, Maddox Mason looks like a star quarterback.
Yeah, because
of the way they can run the ball, right?
Yeah.
So look, Travis Hunter's the best player in college football. There's no doubt. If you're looking just pure talent, pure ability to make things happen, dynamic, dangerous player, he's the best. I don't think there's any question about that. But you and I voted the exact same way.
Oh, really? Okay, so 1,
way.
2, 3. Okay, and it's funny because I wrestled with it big time, and was just trying to figure out what side I wanted to land on. And you want to talk about maybe enormous potential for either one of them at the next level. It's there. The run game has come back to the National Football League a little bit, so Genty can be a star. But Travis Hunter, like we said, just represents something totally different. But I just couldn't help it. I just gravitated to the overall number.
Plus, everybody knows he's their offense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Everyone knows that's what they're going to do. They're going to run the ball.
Yeah,
he was in that Mountain West Championship game. UNLV, he was running against 8 and 9 man fronts the entire game.
Yeah,
they were literally man up on any receiver on the outside, and everybody else was in the box.
And if you look at his numbers gained, yards per carry and yards after contact, both of them,
his
eye-popping.
His yards after contact led the nation in rushing.
Yeah, and he had
yards after contact led the nation in rushing.
I think maybe the other thing that got me just a little bit that might have kind of put me over the top is he had more yards than 100 other teams had in rushing yards. That's like Babe Ruth, way back when, hit more home runs than
amount of teams,
than any other team.
Right.
And so that when I kind of put those two together, when I heard it, I'm like, oh my God. And he was something else. Great story, all that stuff.
Yards after contact, he would have led the nation in rushing, just yards on contact alone. That right there should say, whoa.
And there are more over 2,000-yard rushers than you might realize when you go back in time with the college football game, even though we went through a long period where there were just 10 games, 11 games, and now a dozen games. But there have been plenty of them that have been able to go over that number. And plenty's probably not we're talking.
I mean, Melvin Gordon at 2,500 didn't win the Heisman.
Yeah.
2,500.
Yeah, we had, how many have we had? A dozen, something like that have been.
Troy Davis had back-to-back at Iowa State.
Yeah.
Didn't win the Heisman.
Yeah. Ignored.
Yeah.
Because of what we talked about. If Travis Hunter.
Well, also because Danny Wonderful was one of those years. And he wasn't winning it then.
And
let's not get too crazy here, all right?
Right. It was that great team playing great teams, and the quarterback was the greatest.
Right.
And so that's probably why you end up gravitating in that direction. But both guys can be hit with that as far as, anonymity. Buried up at Boise State was Ashton Genty to a lot of people. Really, if we didn't have this college football playoff, I don't even know if he would have been a finalist, honestly.
Genty.
Yeah.
You could probably make that argument, actually.
Yeah, because it would have been 4 teams. He would have been largely ignored. It would have been a lot of ways in what you're describing with Troy Davis.
Yeah, you could make that argument.
Yeah. And then, of course, even though Colorado wasn't in the playoff picture, they were in the playoff picture till when? The second week of November?
Yeah, until they lost on the road against Kansas. And they basically were knocked out. And they needed all kind of help to get in, yeah.
All right, so it was still a great run watching all these guys play. And Cam Ward was definitely deserving of making it as a finalist, but if they had made it into the playoff, would he have had more votes? I don't know. Dylan Gabriel almost is the quiet forgotten one among the 4 finalists. His numbers touchdown-wise didn't touch what Cam Ward had done, but still, the guy was a master running that offense out in Eugene. And so we'll find out whether or not, which one of these guys can make the run. So let's just set this up. First college football playoff in the round of 12 comes up Friday night. You will be in South Bend for that. The weather forecast before we talk about anything else.
Well, first off, it was the closest race since 2009.
A close vote.
Very close.
In the Heisman, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, 300 votes, I think is what it was.
Very small. And he had gotten the most number of first-place votes, and I think largely got the most of second, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be very fun, actually. It's a big game for Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
Big game. Because, they're 11-1 in the playoff, having played no one. The only team of significance they played, they lost by 23.
Yeah.
So that was Ohio State. So this is a big moment for Indiana to go on the road against Notre Dame and show their worth as much as anything, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A good Notre Dame team. Now you want to hear about the weather? Is that what you want?
Yeah. Because Kirk Cignetti, what he's been able to do is just immediately come in there and now how far back are we going when Tom Allen was there in Indiana? Had that
Not
big,
far.
big,
Right before him.
big pop.
Yeah,
Had
right
that
before
big pop maybe, 5 years ago, something
in the COVID season. They were 6-1.
Right.
Remember the Big Ten in their return to play rules?
Yeah.
They just quashed those and got Ohio State in there.
Yeah.
Remember, you had to play 6 games, and Ohio State didn't play 6, and all of a sudden, okay, well, now Indiana would be the East Division champ, but because they didn't want Indiana to be the East Division champ, they kind of quashed those rules that they initially set out and got Ohio State in there, and whatever.
Yeah, they just changed the rules. But anyway, he has been impressive up there. But
yeah, he's done a fantastic job. Game time temperatures, and this is what I was talking about. We started talking about this in October, then really started talking about it in November. The big drama in the rankings was really 5 through 8 because those 4 spots are the teams that are hosting first round playoff games, and it's a difference between bitter cold or 60s in the South. And a perfect example, and now these are 2 North teams playing, so it doesn't really matter. But
they're ready.
The Indiana Notre Dame game is the high is 34. It's the lowest 18. There's 60% chance of snow. Now it could change,
sure,
because it's the weather, but it's going to be cold and it's going to be snowing. And think about that. It let's just say, had Alabama gotten in, okay, and then they were the 11 or whatever, and they're going to Notre Dame, 16 in snow. They think they're going to be happy about that?
No.
Right. So so moving forward, everyone, the four at-large bids are obviously key because you get the first round bye, but the 5 through 8 are everything, man. That's everything.
So we'll look at him a little bit more. We got our quarterback whisperer. We'll say hello to him coming up here in just a second because the games are great. The point spreads are pretty close by and large. You got Tennessee closing out the night Saturday night against Ohio State.
Also in a cold weather environment. Now, Tennessee's plays in cold before, but
but they're also talking about some rowdiness up there in the horseshoe.
Well, the odd thing is Ohio State fans are selling their tickets to Tennessee fans because the Ohio State fans are so bitter about losing to Michigan.
I love it. That means you don't even like the fact that you made it into the field of 12 because you lost to Ann Arbor. So you lost.
I mean, you think SMU is going to be happy? It's going to be so flipping cold in State College on Saturday, and SMU's heading into there.
Dallas, I've been to Dallas before, and it's been bitter
It's cold in January.
Too.
It is, but for the most part, SMU, for the most part, it's very
they run like
favorable
Mustangs.
climate. Okay, let's just put it that way. And
All
then the
right.
last one is Texas at home against Clemson, so that's not going to be an issue.
All right, XL Primetime. We'll keep looking at the college football playoff. The quarterback whisperer coming up.
The game where every yard counts. One player's performance stands out.
That's what you want from a leader.
Universal Roofing Contracting presents the Offensive Player of the Game.
Touchdown, what a throw.
On 1010XL.
Injured in an accident? Have mounting medical bills? Can't work? Don't worry. Zach's got your back. I'm Zach Von Rowan of Von Rowan Law. I will fight for the compensation that you deserve. Set up your free consultation at zachsgotyourback.com.
Hi, I'm Frank Frangie, and I've depended on South State for my banking needs as long as they've been serving Duval. Whether you're saving for retirement, purchasing a home, starting a business, your goals are their commitment. With forward-thinking, personalized banking solutions and best-in-class service, South State is ready to help you navigate your financial journey. Connect at southstatebank.com or drop by any of the 5 local South State offices. South State Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Cruising with XL Primetime in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL.
Hey folks, Dave Binion here with Zero Res. At Zero Res, we love rugs. We will treat your fine Oriental rugs with the tender and loving care they deserve. Gerard, the Zero Res rug manager, is one of the few certified master rug cleaners in Florida. If you want your rugs cleaned with tender loving care, call Zero Res. Right now, get your rugs washed and we will give you 25% off. Zero Res, spelled forward or backwards, it's the right way to clean.
Vision Visionaries, builders, and doers. Are you ready to change the world? Miller Electric is your opportunity to shape the future. Miller Electric is leading the charge in electric vehicle technology with our state-of-the-art EV Innovation Design Center. We're working to create a sustainable future. We're also the proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars, powering their performance at the brand new Miller Electric Center. Miller Electric, we provide competitive pay, unbeatable benefits. Apply today. MillerCareers.com. Miller Electric, an equal opportunity employer.
Save money this holiday season. Buy pre-owned. That's right, pre-owned guns, guitars, surfboards, tools, and especially jewelry. Beaches Jewelry and Pawn is here to help you save. Beaches Jewelry and Pawn in Jacks Beach. Online at beachesjewelryandpawn.com.
Check it out, the new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence. At Verizon, you can get it when you trade in any phone from one of their top brands. Any? Any. Even if it's 4 years old? Yeah. Even if it's 4 years old and I drop it on the sidewalk? Yep. Even if it's 4 years old and I drop it on the sidewalk, then a scooter runs it over, so now it's not just old and cracked, but shattered?
With Verizon, the answer is always yes. New and existing customers can trade in any phone from one of our top brands in any condition for the new iPhone 16 Pro with Unlimited Ultimate. Trade-in terms apply. See Verizon.com for details. Apple Intelligence coming fall 2024.
Give us your hot take.
Pop quiz, hot shot.
On the 1010XL text line, designed by Lifetime Enclosures.
You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm awake and I speak English, so yeah, I do know what you're saying.
Be part of the conversation. 641-1010.
Elbow pain, whether acute or chronic, can make it difficult to do normal activities like playing sports, doing household chores, or even sleeping comfortably. Dr. George Barr here, and no one wants to deal with pain without solutions on how to feel better. We've all heard of tennis and golfer's elbow, but there's plenty more that can cause pain, like osteoarthritis, muscle tears, and nerve entrapment. All are treatable at Barr Orthopedics. Getting you back to full health is our mission, and there's a number of different treatment options we can offer. Call us today or visit barrorthopedics.com.
On the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me a septic tank emergency.
Don't let your holidays go down the drain. Duck Rooter's here to save your Christmas cheer. Whether it's a stubborn clog, a burst pipe, or a septic scare, we'll fix it faster than Santa can slide down a chimney. Duck Rooter. Call us now and save the day. 904-862-6769 or visit duckduckrooter.com. Duck Rooter, because nobody wants a silent night in the bathroom.
Hey, sports fans, it's Hayes Carlyon from MyBookie. It's Monday Night Football time, and we've got the scoop, so let's dive into tonight's doubleheader. The Bears go to the Vikings as 7-point underdogs with a 43.5-point over-under. Give a look at the Bears to cover on the road. Game 2, the Falcons take on the Raiders. The Falcons are favored by 4 points on the road. They've been resilient on the road. I think they can cover that spread. I would go with the over there of 44 as well. MyBookie has the best odds for Monday Night Football. Remember, it's all action all the time with MyBookie. Bet with confidence tonight, guys. MyBookie has the best sign-up bonus in the industry for Florida bettors. Our listeners can just sign up and use promo code 1010XL to claim a bonus that doubles your money on your very first deposit up to $1,000. That's promo code 1010XL to claim your deposit bonus for Monday Night Football. Sign up now with promo code 1010XL. Bet anywhere, anytime, and make your season a winning season with MyBookie.
Jacksonville Cougars. It's me, Soccer Sam from Salvatore's Pizza. Rochester, New York's favorite pizzeria is now open in Jacksonville, Florida. Tapestry Park at the Loft Hotel Plaza. $10 daily deals, dine-in beer and wine, and delivery. Salvatores.com.
Make a resolution this new year to send all of your friends or family a Kuhn Flowers floral arrangement. ET here with 1010XL. Okay, how about sending just one person you love a floral arrangement? Kuhn Flowers can handle it.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the quarterback whisperer, Denny Thompson.
Okay, bring it in.
Brought to you by Tyson Sound and Security, security and automation experts, and George Moore Chevrolet.
1, 2, 3.
Reincarnated. I was stargazing. Life goes on.
We like to say hello to our quarterback whisperer, Denny Thompson. Normally pops in studio. We hang out. We chat it up. But on the move, many things in the quarterback whisperer's world. But he does join us on the Garber Automall hotline. Denny, how are you, bud?
Oh, man, I'm good. How are you guys doing?
We're doing great. We opened up our show with another one-score loss for the Jacksonville Jaguars. That certainly has been well documented. But then also, this is playoff week, bro. we have now officially entered playoff week. How pumped are you?
Oh man, I'm fired up. I am. I heard you guys talking about, the home matchups, and I just think that's such a neat thing as college football fans that, we're gonna watch that. We're gonna watch the weather play a factor. We're gonna, and to Matt's point, like all these games during the season matter more now than they ever have. Is what I believe. So I think the college football has absolutely struck gold with this system. And there's some things that they've got to do. There's ways to make it better, and there's, the calendar's a little bit funky, but man, I mean, what an exciting time to be involved in college football, and I think it's just going to continue to skyrocket.
All right, as our resident QB guru, if it's 18 and snowing, how difficult is it to throw the ball and why? That's what
it's definitely, it definitely plays a role. It's definitely an impact, right? I mean, there's so many other questions like hand size and what kind of offense are we running and things like that. A lot of times, I think early in those games, what you see is these Southern teams don't really know how to get warm. And so it's not as much about throwing as it is just a passing game, right? As the timing kind of gets messed up because people are tighter, a little slower. And so it takes a little bit of time to get rolling into that. So I think that there's a lot of different angles with that for sure. It'll be interesting to watch. I wouldn't be surprised, like if I was a coach of one of these Southern teams going up and it's 16 degrees, I'm running the ball the first quarter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like you're just getting a steady dose of that for a little bit, and I don't want to lose the game in the first quarter. And so I think that's probably the way you'll see some of these colder weather games being played.
Well, let's just use a couple of examples. Like we said, Notre Dame and Indiana, both Midwestern schools, not that far away from one another. They are not shocked by the cold. But SMU going up to the land of Penn State, Happy Valley, you're talking about a seriously cold, biting weather. And Kevin Jennings is a guy that's been kind of operating. He wants to be able to wheel and deal and get that ball out. What do you think that will do to that type of offense that Rhett Lashley's running?
Yeah, no, that's a great point because the way they play offense will definitely be affected by this. There's no doubt. I mean, it gets cold in Dallas, but it hasn't gotten cold yet. I mean, that's more of the same what probably temperature or geography is as Atlanta, right? So I mean, they haven't felt that yet. So I think it definitely will change the way that you call plays. I don't think the speed necessarily, the go fast will be affected as much as just, on those situations where normally on 3rd and 4 you would have run a certain concept. You're probably, altering that just a little bit. But once you get into the flow of the game and everybody gets going, everybody's comfortable, you're back to where you need to be. I don't think it's a long term unless it's just inches of snow and really wet and windy, and then that affects everyone.
Yeah, wind is wicked. One of our Texas, Matty, said 18 degrees, no wind. Isn't that bad?
Right, but it's wind. There'll be wind there. Wind is the worst part about it.
Yeah.
Hey, so, Denny, Carson Beck, can you explain the actual injury, and do you think he could be back if they advance further in the playoff?
I don't even know. Like, I mean, obviously there's, restrictions on what I'm allowed to say just from a privacy perspective. But the truth of the matter is I just don't think that anybody really knows that yet. We're still kind of, and he's still kind of really, he is looking at, every option possible for, can he come back and play? What's best for his career? Like, do those things match up? And it's still, I know it feels like it's been forever, but it's only been 8 days. And with something like that, you want to be diligent and everything. And so, I don't even think there's an answer to that right now, Matt. It's
how's he doing? Physically and mentally?
No, I mean, he's good. Yeah. I mean, no, he's good. I mean, he's, obviously he came back to play and win championships. And now that it's time to do that, we've got a big obstacle in the way. So, obviously he's affected and upset by that. But outside of that, I mean, Carson has matured a lot in this last year. He's learned a lot in this last year. It's been a great year that he came back. I don't think that there's any regrets. I don't want to speak for him, but he and I have talked about it. I don't think there's any regrets in coming back. So I think mentally he's in a great place, and he understands this is part of the game, and it's just, hey, we got a work to do now. Whether that work means that he gets to play again in a Georgia uniform or not, it doesn't really change the work. So I think you just gather information and then you go from there, and that's kind of the phase that I think he's still in.
Yeah, because there's a lot of unknown. We're talking with Denny Thompson, our quarterback whisperer, talking about Carson Beck, and I was doing Breaking Bones with Dr. George Barr, and we were talking about it a little bit, and just doing the research and whatnot. And you're familiar with another guy who had to deal with this. And just to clarify, we don't know the severity of the injury for Carson, but Brock Purdy had a ligament completely torn, and it was the UCL. He was knocked out in the championship game against Philadelphia. We're going back 2 seasons ago. Then he came through here, Denny. He rehabbed, so you're certainly very close to him and what he had to do. Now that he was able to come back, at the very least, Brock Purdy's proven that part of his body has stayed pretty healthy given everything he's had to go through.
Yeah, man, listen, these surgeries that they're doing these days on Brock's deal, on whatever Carson's deal is, things that used to be career-ending things are now 5, 6, 7 month, rehab, and there's never another issue. So it's definitely like modern medicine when it comes to what they're able to do on with arms, and even we've seen it in ACLs and what's the infamous tightrope surgery, and
yeah, right.
It's really is crazy what they're doing. In a different era, yeah, maybe I would be a little more concerned about guys like Brock or guys like Carson, but these surgeons are so good at what they do, they put you in a pretty good spot.
All right, let me ask you this: am I crazy to think? Look, it's a quarterback game. There's no doubt about it. In this playoff, am I crazy to think that Ohio State's going to win this thing? Because I'm starting to lean to that. Because they have the best team, and I don't think Will Howard's a much better player than what he showed in that Michigan game. Much better player.
I mean, you're not crazy. It's not an absurd thought. They wouldn't be my pick.
Who would you
in
pick?
This thing? Man, I think I'm still going. I think I'm going Georgia regardless. Like,
okay.
I just they've gotten healthy. They've gotten when you look at the last couple of weeks, that Georgia Tech game, defensively they struggled, but Georgia Tech had an amazing game plan that game. And you're talking also about a Georgia Tech team who the offensive coordinator was at Georgia for a while, right? So he knew everything they were going to do. But I think when you go back and you look at their last few games, they look a little bit more like Georgia of old. And I think that they can line up with anybody, and they don't have to play the extra game. Mm-hmm. So I would probably lean towards them if I was going to bet money on.
So give me
but the point is, your point is great. Like, how exciting is this? Because we could ask this and probably get 4 or 5 different answers.
Oh yeah. Because I'm on the Scatterboot train right now. I love me some Sun Devil, Arizona State football.
I am the biggest Arizona State fan on the play, because y'all know Jeff Sims is there, right?
Yeah, he did go out there. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's the backup quarterback. He's played a little bit this year. He's gotten in, and he gets in quite a bit.
And Dillingham had.
And I love Kenny Dillingham.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he had intel on him when you go all the way back to when he originally had committed to Florida State, going back. All right, so Gunnar Stockton, real quick, because the idea that Carson was really starting to get the feel and flow and all that stuff was coming together, and then Gunnar was able to keep that bad boy together in the second half of that ball game. Carson was able to come in at the end in the overtime, which was just great for him from a walk-off moment.
Right.
But what do you think about Gunnar and him? Like, what will they try and ask him to do that he hasn't done already?
I don't know. I don't know a whole lot about Gunnar. I mean, obviously, he's a heck of a player, former 5-star kid. He's got a great skill set. He's probably a little bit more of your prototypical dual threat, although Carson, did that pretty well this year. I mean, they were running quarterback power with Carson during the season. So I don't think they have to change a lot. Maybe you run everything that you run, but you just run certain things more with Gunnar than you would have with Carson, and certain things less with Gunnar than you do with Carson. I don't think it's that big of a change. Now, the one thing I will say, and he's my guy, and so I probably am a little biased, I know how good Carson is. And so I even when I say I still pick Georgia, I pick Georgia because they're battle tested. But they also do have to deal with either, a talented guy like Carson maybe playing at less than 100% or maybe not playing. Like that's a big deal. And especially when you look at the production that he had, the latter half of the season, it's a big obstacle to overcome, but they got the cast to overcome it. And Gunner, one thing about Georgia now, they practice hard, and they practice against one of the best defenses in the country every day. So when you get out on that field as a quarterback, you're ready.
All right, so did you watch the Jags, number one? Number two, at what point is it just too much for you? Because I was telling Joe, it's at the point now where I was in the fourth quarter in that game, and I'm thinking to myself, I don't know how much more I can take of this. I just don't know.
Yeah. I enjoyed a good weekend of very little football. I love Mac, so I turned on the Jags for a little bit, and but that's about it. No, I didn't watch a whole lot of anything.
All right, so you're predicting any upset before we talk to you next week in the first round of games that we're going to see?
I like Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, interesting. Even with that passing game, huh? And that 18-degree weather in the snow?
I like Indiana. I think there's, something about just I don't know. It's there. You can't tell them they're not supposed to be there. You can't tell them that they don't have a chance at this thing. There's a little bit of a first timer's blissful ignorance in this whole thing, and that coach is pushing all the right buttons. So I would not be surprised in the least to see Indiana come out at least the first round.
Mm-hmm. Oh, can't wait. All right, buddy. The quarterback whisperer at Denny_Thompson. Make sure you check him out, and we will hopefully catch up with you next week.
All right. Sounds good, guys.
All right, buddy. Be good. So he smells an upset, and we're talking.
I literally have my final is two teams that play in the first round. So we should get in that. We should break down our final.
Okay. All right.
Game by game.
Big Searcy. Well, I just want to bring up because
Big Searcy till Searcy comes back.
Yeah.
All right, we'll do that.
But let's at least bring up, and we'll bring up what I had originally and how many are still intact. Some are obvi because that's just how college football works. But we'll at least touch on a couple of those coming up in a second. Mokama Beer Company Monday right here on XL Primetime.
You're riding in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios. XL Primetime on 1010XL.
I'm Chris Campione. In a world of big box law firms with satellite offices, there's something special about having a local legal team that cares about you and your community. We're not just lawyers, we're your neighbors. We understand the unique challenges facing the Jacksonville community because we live here too. At Campione Law, Campione Cares isn't just a tagline, it's our commitment to you. Campione Law, your trusted lawyers after an accident. CampioneLaw.com.
Count on Campione, Campione Law.
Joe Seifer, Roland Reese Plumbing. This time of the year, you probably have had visitors, regulars, family members coming back and saying, there is nothing to eat. Well, if they're eating a bunch and therefore maybe a plumbing problem pops up, it definitely can happen this time of the year because you just got a little extra wear and tear on whatever's working at home. Just know that Roland Reese Plumbing can take care of it. By the way, businesses or residential, they can handle both of them. You can log on plumbingjacksonville.com and see the service, the Google reviews, a quarter century plus worth of experience right here on the First Coast. Just remember, when you got a leak and you can't wait a week, go with the guys at Roland Reese Plumbing.
Frank Frangie here. It's the holiday season, and Nimnick Chevrolet is here for you. Whether you're making memories on the road or continuing family traditions right here in Jacksonville, you can always count on us because there's nobody but Nimnick. The Red Tag sales event is back at Nimnick Chevrolet. This month, you can save up to $12,000 off a new Silverado. And unlike most dealerships, Nimnick Chevrolet has the largest inventory on the ground, ready for you to explore. So shop online 24/7 at nimnickchevy.com. Chevrolet, together let's drive.
Post-game Monday on 1010XL is brought to you by Dandy Foods, makers of quality fresh sandwiches and home of the good stuff.
Experience the winning combination of style and performance with Renewal by Andersen, energy-efficient, custom-built replacement windows and doors. Right now, buy one window or patio door and get one 40% off. Plus, 0 down, no payments, and no interest for 18 months. The first 50 customers get a free TrueScreen upgrade, but this offer expires December 31st. Renewal by Andersen, proud partner of the Florida Gators. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com for details.
License number CGC 1527613.
The 12 Days of Christmas is back and better than ever at Best Bet Jacksonville. From December 12th to the 23rd, we're lighting up the tables with our much-anticipated High Hands promotion, giving away over $330,000 in cash and prizes. The excitement continues to grow each day, starting at $1,200 and climbing up to $2,300, and the chance to set sail on a card player poker cruise. Explore all the excitement at bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
I'm living proof that with Rebound Rehab, you can bounce back and get back in the game. Joe C. for Rebound Rehabilitation, and they helped me recover from an ankle injury that had me down and out. Their team of physical therapists ensure you'll get the best treatment you need to recover and regain mobility. From back, shoulder, and neck pain to a nagging knee or arthritis, Rebound Rehab can help form a game plan through therapy and exercise, complete with an app so you can continue to recover at home. Check out reboundrehab.com. 8 convenient locations.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On December 16, 1973, NFL running back O.J. Simpson becomes the first NFL running back to rush for 2,000 yards in one season, accomplishing the feat in 14 games.
I'm Clayton Bromberg, the president of Underwoods. Every year we have gentlemen come in with the same problem. They just don't know what to buy their wife for Christmas. Well, one thing we can start off telling them is they've come to the right place, because at Underwoods it's been our business since 1928 to keep in our stores what ladies want to own. We have a professional credentialed staff that'll treat you the way you expect to be treated, and they can really help solve your problem. We have North Florida's finest collection of diamond jewelry, an extensive collection of pearls. You might be interested in seeing some of the hot new designer jewelry pieces from names like David Yurman, John Hardy, or Roberto Coin. If it's a watch you want, we carry Rolex and other watches that are considered the best. And the one thing you'll love and she'll recognize is the hand-wrapped silver package with a satin ribbon our gifts come in. So make this a Christmas to remember at Underwoods in San Marco, Avondale, or the shops of Ponte Vedra.
Collisions happen on every play in football. Collisions also happen every day on the road. If you need auto body repair, from a $30 job to a $30,000 job, trust San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
This is Greg Huntington, a.k.a. The Mangler. I'm on the winning team at Waste Management. WM is the largest sustainability company in North America. If your business needs sustainable environmental services for waste removal and recycling collection, then you can count on the industry leader of WM to deliver results. Your services will be completed in a timely, safe, and eco-friendly manner. Go to WM.com/Duval. That's WM.com/Duval and get signed up today. If anyone can talk trash, it's the Mangler.
If you know about artificial turf, you know it needs to be done right. Lauren Brooks here from my friends at Sunshine Turf, a family-owned company that will transform your outdoor space into the oasis of your dreams. A putting green, a pet run, a maintenance-free yard. Trust me, the team at Sunshine Turf are the experts you need to transform your lawn. With the highest quality products and budget-friendly pricing, get clean, low-maintenance synthetic grass by visiting sunshineturf.info or call 904-383-0243 to get a free quote today from Sunshine Turf.
Tailgate special alert. 3 pounds of marinated chicken, 2 pounds of marinated steak tips, 2 pounds of fresh ground beef, and 2 pounds of homemade sausage for only $80 to feed your crew.
For tasty tips and juicy breasts, choose Southern Steer Butcher.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
With Sunday's loss to the New York Jets, the Jaguars' record fell to 3-11. The reaction this morning from pride of the Jaguars running back, Fred Taylor.
It's sad because the expectation level was so high the past 2 years and the pieces of the puzzles that they put together. But there's no pity parties in the NFL. You got to go out there and play. No one cares who's on your roster, whether they're all-pro, third-string guy, you're playing for someone that's injured. No one cares. You got to go play. You lose by 1 or by 50. No one cares. A loss is a loss, and you just got to find a way to get better. Simple as that.
Fred Taylor this morning on The Drill with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update. I'm Andrew Gibson.
10 10XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the cool down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
All right, my takeaway is Jags related. Something we can get into, actually, and we haven't talked about it yet, and it's, I mean, quite frankly, annoying the hell out of me. Because the Jets had, I think, I might be mistaken about this, but under 30 plays, easily under 30 plays in the first half. But at one point in the third quarter, they had 37 plays, I think. Okay, on offense. And Travon Walker and Josh Hines Allen were on the sideline.
Together.
We're on the sideline, not playing.
Mm-hmm.
What in the world is going on with Rick Nielsen?
Yeah, it's we call him
Rick because it's a cheap trick.
He's a cheap trick defensive coordinator.
What is going? Get your best guys on the field, man.
And this has happened before, and I was looking for the play totals, and this has happened before where both of them find themselves on the sideline. It should never happen. Ever.
If they need to go out for a play or two to get a blow, great.
Yeah.
Get on the field. You're making $17 million a season. Get on the field.
Yeah,
you were the number one overall pick. You earned $40 million. Get on the field.
And you just have to take a look and just see rotationally. Like I said, I wanted to love on Ledbetter because he was able to pull off that backflip. Almost didn't, but he was able to.
But he got it. He nailed it.
Thank God he landed it. I could just see him going on the injury report, just like Cooper Hodges with his cartwheel. Like, don't do that, bro.
What would the injury be? Humility? What would it be?
Yeah, it would have been he did red face. I got the red behind, but it just was just terrible to see the lack of pass pressure over time. Now, they've done a decent job at times where they've been able to at least move C.J. Stroud, force him out of the pocket, get him off of his spot. But in the end, he was still able to throw for a decent number. Same thing with Aaron Rodgers this past game. We all know who Aaron Rodgers is. He reads defenses. He invites the blitz. He wants to move you in one direction or another with his pre-snap and some of the decisions that he makes. And he's a magician. And this is probably one of the games that he had been jonesing for because he'd been uncomfortable in the pocket quite a bit this year because of a bad offensive line. And finally, he was able to do what he wanted to do. This team, once again, even with playing Will Levis a week ago, and the Titans only scored 6 points, this team still has the highest passer rating against them than anybody else in the National Football League. That will not change after Aaron Rodgers throwing for nearly 300 yards yesterday. And let's see, what was his completion percentage? Was it 25 of 32? Does that sound right?
Sounds right.
Because it was right there with the score, I'm pretty sure. No. I take that back. He was 16 of 30 for 289 yards and 3 touchdowns. So he was barely over 50%. And yet he was able to and they hadn't gone over 30 points this year, and they were able to get over that number yesterday.
Let me just say this to you. Mm-hmm. Trayvon Walker was on the field for 44 snaps against the Jets. He was off the field 1 every 4 snaps.
It's terrible. It's
1 every 4 snaps, and Josh Hines Allen was close to that. 1 every 4 snaps. He was not on the field. Just not on the field.
Yeah. And if you're playing,
I'll give you a good one too. Eric Armstead. 22.
Yeah. $10 million, $11 million, whatever.
22 snaps for $11 million a year.
What was the total count for Josh Hines Allen?
He was on for 47 snaps.
Yeah. Okay. Look, rotationally, I understand if you're missing 1 out of 4, you're playing 75% of the game. Okay, I'm okay with that.
If you've got good backups behind them.
Yes. And they
don't have good backups behind them.
But you can't have those guys out there. And they have had games where they've played 85 to 95% of the snaps, and they haven't been able to produce the results either. And I agree with some of the texters, some of the guys and gals in the YouTube chat as well, just saying there isn't anything happening interiorly to create any push. That's what I've been screaming for a long time. Collapse a pocket. That's what makes quarterbacks uncomfortable. All that stuff around their feet is what makes them freak out. How do you think defensive ends get to quarterbacks? by someone getting him out of the pocket. Now, granted, they've beaten tackles and they get inside quickly and they knock over quarterbacks in the pocket as well. But when you can get a quarterback uncomfortable and off of his spot and on the move, that's generally when you're going to be able to catch him. And that's what Trayvon and Josh Hines Allen need. Even though they haven't done their job, they need those guys interiorly to do their job. And if Eric Armstead's only on the field for less than
22
plays,
snaps.
For less than 24 plays? What in the world?
22 snaps.
Now, let me ask you something. Do you think that the defensive coordinator...
Jeremiah Ledbetter, 23 snaps.
He had one more.
Mason Smith, 29 snaps. By the way,
I guarantee...
I know it's only 1 year. That might be a blown pick. Just FYI, that might be a blown pick.
But if I'm Ledbetter, I'm like, hey, dude, I need some of your check. I played one more play than you did. I'm just an undrafted cat just trying to make it happen anyway, anyhow. You're on your whatever third or fourth contract. But the other thing is that who is responsible for all this? Well, Nielsen's the defensive coordinator, so he's responsible primarily.
Yes, it's the cheap trick. Yes,
he's primarily the guy that's going to come up with substitutions. He said it late last week that he was going to continue to rotate safeties. And so we're talking front end, back end with all this rotation. And yet Ventrell Miller, I believe, do you have the snap count for him? I believe he was only in
do you want to hear
15, 16?
15.
Oh, my God.
By the way, Foye Lucan, let's do the last 7 games.
Yeah.
100%, 100%, 98%, 83%, 100%, 90%, 93%.
Yeah, he's nonstop. He's nonstop. The other thing is, and this struck me, and I'm sure Jaguar fans, you guys can hit us on X after we get off the air, at 1010XL Joe C, at Matt Hayes CFP, but Tyson Campbell.
100% of the snaps, Tyson Campbell.
Well, Tyson, if you watched a lot of him yesterday, he was basically, he's the top defender, so he's going to draw the top assignment. And it was at times Garrett Wilson, and it was at times Devontae Adams.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously they're not running man all the time, so it's not like it was 100% his responsibility. But you can picture some of the plays that he was on with Devontae, and take the 2-point conversion as an example. Take the play where Aaron Rodgers delivered it right over that little back shoulder throw where Devontae toe-tapped his way out.
Right.
That was one of the key plays late when they came back, on the comeback. Tyson Campbell's right there. He's body to body, almost chest to chest with him, but he just doesn't make that last move. He doesn't make that one move. He has Devontae Adams.
Well, he didn't turn
He
his
has
head.
Devontae Adams. He's right on him at the goal line for the 2-point conversion. And Devontae just takes one step, and Tyson just kind of doesn't quite go with him. We're talking he's 2 feet from him, but does not make the play.
The third down catch was the most frustrating. The ridiculous third down catch. If he just turns his head, he's right there and can knock it away. It was a ridiculous catch by Devontae Adams.
It was.
But still, that's a play that's got to be made.
Yeah,
That's you get what you deserve.
Yeah, well, we have maintained it, and those were 2 Hall of Famers operating. So it's not like Tyson Campbell. You'd like to see him healthy. You'd like to see him out there making a few more plays. He definitely made a few yesterday. They did a good job in the first half of this game, frustrating Aaron Rodgers a little bit, but they've got to do more of that. And in those types of plays, he needs to win a few more of those where you're knocking the ball out, wrestling with the receiver. Whereas he was there, he just wasn't able to hand fight or have a close enough position to win a couple of those balls. And at the very least, keep either Wilson or Devontae from making the big chunk play. And look, you can go down the line. They went through, let me see if I can find this stretch here. They had... Oh, gosh.
Do you want to know who leads this team in plays this year? The defense?
In total number of plays?
Do you want to know? Cisco. And it's really not close, actually.
Yeah.
839 plays. He's a good 100 plays ahead of just about everybody.
We can go down the line. Foye, as an example, he played, would you say 100%? But he got flagged a couple of times. One on the PI, a little bit of a question mark there. But then you also had another flag fall against him later. So there's just a lot that's being asked of this defense, and they're not delivering on it right now. And that could be scheme, rotation, you name it. That's for sure. All right, we're done. We got to rotate out. Going to let the hockey shift take place on 1010XL on the Frangie Show. Will come in. We had a great time. Mokama Beer Company Monday. Thanks to them. You can check them out Tuesday through Sunday, serving great craft right there on South 8th in Fernandina, and also the Wildlight location, or look for them on Mokama.com on the shelves at ABC or Total. We're done. Joe C., Matty Hayes. We'll have Big Search back with us mañana. RJ, take it away.
You guys wouldn't figure it out.
You know, one